COVID helped to break his brain. And then look at that. He goes full MAGA. And you know what? That makes me look like a jackass because I was the one going in there, taking him at face value, acting kind, holding his hand and walking him through it like he was a toddler on these topics. And then, wow, in retrospect, would you look at that? You completely flipped
it here.
I mean,
all right.
No,
it's Dave Smith and the homie Robbie the Fire Bernstein, part of the problem. They're going to be part of the solution and ending, figuratively speaking, Kyle Kulinski. Kyle Kulinski is the young man who is behind the censored video there. And he is, well, he's not really a young man anymore, but I guess compared to me, he is. Kyle is in a different place right now. Kyle Kulinski is a guy on the left. The two gentlemen on the screen right now that you can see are libertarians, and they are libertarians in the most respectful way. They are members of what is called the Mises Caucus. This is what I would refer to as the based libertarians, the libertarians who can define what libertarianism is, the libertarians that have made connections to all political sides, from the left to the MAGA to the corporate libertarians to everyone. They are really influential in the libertarian world, and I'm a big supporter of them both. Kyle Kulinski, somebody I used to like, somebody who used to be more on the sensible left, the progressive side. He is making everything about him. He was on Joe Rogan multiple times, and now because Joe Rogan supported Donald Trump, for some reason that hurts Kyle Kulinski. I don't get it. For some reason, Kyle Kulinski wants to burn the bridge. I don't get it. But that's the backdrop here. Let's get back to Dave Smith. He's about to finish him.
It makes you look bad because it makes you look like you lost the argument. It makes you look like maybe you were wrong about a lot of that stuff. Finish him. I'm sorry, but
he did the universe such a favor by going on Rogan.
Yeah, right. Yes, you went on there and held his hand like a toddler and walked him through these topics. In other words, you got invited on the biggest fucking show, and you went on to take advantage of that opportunity where Joe was open and gave you a platform and listened to what you had to say. And you said, because I've seen some of his episodes on there, you said a bunch of standard boilerplate left-wing things. That's what you did.
You don't fire me, I quit, sir. You don't have a job here.
Yeah, like you did not hold his hand like a toddler. Come on, dude. You had a conversation with him where you said many standard things. I'll be honest. Some of the things you said I liked. I liked some of his stuff where he would talk about like his anti-war positions. He never really demonstrated much of a depth of knowledge of them. Like he didn't really get into detail. And
Dave Smith is one of the most knowledgeable. He's the number one debate bro out there. There's nobody who I would pick in a debate to beat Dave Smith. Other than young Nick, I wouldn't pick anyone to beat Dave Smith in a debate. But young Nick isn't really debating like that right now. So he's the number one debate bro. And he respects people who know their stuff, like RFKJ. Even no matter what I think about him, he is well-read, extremely knowledgeable. Dave Smith, part of the problem, he respects people who are knowledgeable. Kyle Kulinski is kind of like me, man. He'll go on a show and he'll say the standard stuff. He won't necessarily know he's not going to be a historian on everything. He's not going to have any great recall on anything. He's going to talk about things in a way that's just basically surface level. Let's get back to the clip.
But he would say, like, I don't like Obama's drone wars and stuff like that, and good for you. And then you made some arguments for why you believed in, like, universal health care or things like that. Okay. You ultimately, I guess he wasn't persuaded by you. Like, what do you want me to say? That's the only reason why you look bad. You don't look bad in hindsight because you went on the show. But isn't it convenient, Kyle, right? Like, you're going to say, okay, so when you got invited on the biggest show in the world, you were happy to go. When you say you held his hand like a toddler, that's certainly not what you were saying at the time. You certainly didn't say that. You certainly didn't come back on your show the day after. You certainly didn't say on the Joe Rogan Experience, hey, man, it kind of feels like I'm holding your hand like a toddler here. You know? No, you said, thank you so much for having me on. You're the man, Joe Rogan. Thank you for letting me get on the biggest show in the world and give my ideas and get more fans and get more exposure. So you said thank you. You came back again. You came back again after that. You came back again after that. And every single time you never said, hey man, it really feels like I have to hold your hand. You didn't say anything like that, right? Okay. So you took it when it was advantageous to you. Now that Joe Rogan ended up supporting Donald Trump and has become like, you know, it's been acknowledged that he is at the center of this ecosystem of information. Whether you want to call him independent news or not, I don't really give a fuck what you call him. He has the biggest show. Now that maybe it kind of hurts you personally to have this, you know, attachment to Rogan, or to have this thing where you're connected to him.
I want to comment from it. I've got a lot of good, solid comments on here, especially from people on the left and on the right too. But if you're on the left, help me understand, why is this Donald Trump? So for people who support, what's happening here is Kyle is abandoning his connection, burning a bridge to the biggest podcast in the world, because Joe Rogan made a political calculation that I really only have two. It's a wrong choice. You can vote for whoever you want, but okay. I only have two people who really have a chance to win, is what Joe's thinking. One's Kamala Harris, the other's Donald Trump. I'd rather Donald Trump. Bernie wasn't running. If the choice was Bernie, Trump, or Kamala, Joe might have still picked Bernie. I think he still would have picked Bernie. Kyle Kulinski came from the Bernie Sanders camp. If RFKJ was running and didn't endorse Trump, Joe Rogan, I don't think he would have said I'm voting for Trump. He would have said I'm voting for RFKJ. So why would you burn a bridge? And to you watching, I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not a Trump supporter right now. I used to be. From 2016 Trump. He has great speeches, even after he started falling off after he won. And then 2020 beyond, it wasn't the same Trump, in my opinion. But why would you be against me for that? Even though I don't support AOC, if you support AOC, if you support Ilhan Omar, I'm not against you because of that. Let's talk about what you believe. Why are you guys like this? You're just like MSNBC. You're like, well, Trump is bad. You support Trump. And I have a problem with a lot of Trump supporters now, but it's not because they support Trump. It's because they can't define what their positions are. You tell me if that's clear. I just don't understand why supporting Trump would turn you off of Joe Rogan. Talk about what he believes.
Or known as someone who went on his show several times. Now you're going to turn around and say, I held his hand like a toddler. It seems like the common denominator here is what's self-serving for you. Not so much any argument or principle that you got right that he then got wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, but that seems more to be what the story is here.
You're not missing anything, Dave. It's all about him.
All right, let's keep playing.
I mean, we were defending him, unfortunately, way too late, right? When people were already on to, I don't know, man, he's saying a little bit more right-wing things here. And we would be like, well, no, look, here's a compilation of all the times Joe Rogan said base things. He argued for universal health care. He argued for free college. He argued for higher minimum wage and this good thing and that. And I would show that compilation and go, see, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But guess what? When you decide I'm going to endorse Donald Trump after he lied to your face relentlessly for the entire podcast, telling brazen lies, then I'm sorry, all the charity is gone, all the sympathy is gone, and I have to come to a different conclusion now. My conclusion of
he goes, I'm sorry, but now that I've taken all the help you can give me and it's only hurting me to be associated with you, the charity is gone. Now it's time to take off the gloves. And what is he guilty of? He's saying, I defended him when he was saying some right-wing things. And then he ended up supporting Donald Trump. And that's the call.